Yo, you tuned in to Gorilla Cross Radio.
Broadcasting live from downtown Las Vegas, you're tuned in to Gorilla Cross Radio.
Oh, hello. Well, we're not going to
My
talk.
mic is not. Now my mic is there. Now it's there.
Welcome to Girl Chat Sports.
Yes.
I'm your host, Mel. Got my girl Mo with me.
Yes, you do.
We got
Indeed.
someone special in studio
We
today.
sure do.
Special little birthday girl. Hey, birthday girl.
Hi.
One time for the birthday.
Everybody say hello to Natalie, one of Girl Chat Sports' biggest and loyalist fan. Loyalist? Is that a word? Yeah?
Yeah.
We'll go with that.
Enthusiast.
Thank
Turn
you.
your phone down just a little bit. Just echoing the show. It's all good.
No worries.
Yeah,
It happens.
no worries. It does happen.
Thanks for tuning in. My mic is hot.
Why is it hot?
I can feel like it's extra loud.
Oh.
in this thing.
Oh.
I'm good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was just thinking because you look hot that maybe the mic was hot.
Do you like my new Maui-inspired jacket I got?
Yeah, did you get that in Maui?
Yeah, it was my $10 special. Holla.
Cool.
Holla, holla.
Cool.
I like your Maui
Very cool.
tan.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
and the Maui
Beautiful.
tan.
And so I had to leave for a little while.
You know.
Well, that's what you do, so this is nothing new.
Yeah, just
I don't
the
understand
weekend,
the news.
just fly
yeah,
out
just a
real
little
quick.
weekend, fly out real quick like a G.
weekend. Quick weekend.
Yeah.
Shout out to
Doing?
my-
Oh, Maui.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's Maui. That's where I went.
I mean,
Real quick.
Why not? You know, humble brag, but not really humble. You know what I'm saying?
Welcome everybody to the show. Yeah, so stay tuned. We're going to talk a little bit about the WNBA and the new CBA. I know it had passed or had been approved last week, but we're going to talk with a guest online, Christy Sanders, who's going to chat with us kind of more about the business end of that, what some of the aspects are and what it means for players as well as for the relationships between the WNBA and the NBA, what it means having a commissioner this year versus just a president. And we've got some stuff going on. There's a lot of stuff coming up this weekend. Even though the
Man.
football is almost over,
Right.
there's still a lot of stuff.
Yes,
Going
and
down
big
this weekend.
news today because I'm wearing my infinity scarf for a
Well,
reason.
let's start with that.
Yeah, we got to start with it. There's no other way, better way, but to start with that, right? So, aside being a very special day that it's Natalie's birthday, and who's our in-studio guest,
Yes.
another special occurrence happened around 3 o'clock this afternoon. Now, we've been waiting for this big announcement most of the morning. Like, they've been tweeting, posting, big announcement coming from the Allegiant Stadium. Raiders have a huge announcement. And people had their speculations online and chats like, oh, Tom Brady's going to be the quarterback. Oh, Mark Davis is going to get a great haircut. Oh, we're losing Carr. Oh, we're doing this. So without further ado, it was officially announced that
What was it again?
officially announced that the Raiders, no longer Oakland, no longer Los Angeles, but Las Vegas Raiders.
Ooh.
The Las Vegas Raiders received their proclamation today from Governor Sisolak, who was on deck out there at the Owl. Shout out to Alan Snell, too, because he was there getting all the action of that. So shout out to him. We are now officially today born the Las Vegas Raiders.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm very excited because we're undefeated right now.
The first time in
First
history.
time in history.
Yay.
The Las Vegas Raiders. Yes. Welcome.
Congratulations.
So it was really interesting because they had some of the players there. Derek Carr was there.
Oh,
Darren
really?
Waller was there. Jonathan Abram was there. A few of our legends were there. It was just awesome. It almost brought me to tears because I was like, oh my God, it's really happening. Like the Raiders are officially the Las Vegas Raiders and I have a team. I have my team. Oh, so
The stadium looks
oh yeah, the Death
beautiful.
Star is going to be amazing.
Yeah.
The Owl is just on its way to becoming just something to see. I mean, not only does this set a catalyst for, Pro Bowl events, Super Bowl events,
College
football events. Now it's going to be NFL draft events as a first kickoff because we have an NFL team in the city. So this is bringing a lot to the city. And on top of that, the Raiders did donate $500,000 today to agricultural educational program in the city for kids' lunches and that in schools.
Really?
Oh, that's
Yes,
super
they
dope.
did. So they announced that while they were there. And then also this week, Darren Waller, our tight end, was at Jack Daly Title I school this week doing a back-to-school lunch program with some of the kids at the school, helping them with their lunches and expressing meal programs and healthy eating and that kind of thing. So the Raiders are definitely all in with the community, and they are here, and they are officially our Las Vegas team. So I'm excited. I was like, yay, Raider Nation. So Raider Nation out there, stand up. And all my Raider Nation people, be sure that you are subscribing to our YouTube channel for Girl Chat Sports, along with Gorilla Cross Radio. It's a free download for Gorilla Cross because you could see us on either one of those.
Hey.
And also everyone that's in the chat, shout out to Donnell, shout out to us, shout out to Cassandra, shout out to everybody that's viewing us, shout out to my boy Dan. Be sure you're telling your friends sharing is caring, and sharing this episode would really mean so much to us.
It would mean the best.
It would mean the best. It really would.
It's my birthday, so you have to share.
Yeah, you do. You definitely have to share because it's Natalie's
If
birthday.
nothing else, give
39
Natalie
shares.
a present.
39
and share.
shares.
We need
Yes.
39
We
shares.
need 39 shares. Yes.
Otherwise, she gets 39 spankings.
Ah, who's speaking?
Go ahead and comment in the box. and-
Shoot
Love
those
it.
DMs. now.
Right. Shout out to Cuzzo watching. Shout out to my girl Care Bear watching. 39 shares. We love it. And yes, D, we were going to talk about AB. He's tripping. He's been tripping though. What else is new?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing new at all.
Yeah. So this weekend though, we had the MMA fight of. Is it the fight of the
UFC
year?
246.
Yeah. Was it the fight of the year though?
I don't know. There's still quite a lot of year left. And
There is.
supposedly it sounds like Connor's on his way back to be fighting again, possibly this year too.
Yeah. Who's he fighting next though? I wonder.
I don't know.
So he fought this past Saturday against Cerrone, right? And
Yes.
then Holly
The
Holm.
cowboy, which
the
the
cowboy,
memes
yeah.
of the cowboy being taken down were hilarious.
And what time was he taken down?
It was so they called it at 40 seconds,
Uh-huh.
but I would say they gave him at least like a good 20 seconds to get up. Like it was like you could tell he was done, but they were kind of like the ref definitely gave him some time.
So what was the move that took him down?
Throw them. What did Diddy used to do? The shoulder.
Oh, the shake.
yeah.
the Harlem
So
shake?
it was definitely
Like a
a lot
Harlem
of
shake?
shoulder moves.
Oh, okay.
That was the initial. I think he hit him after that, but he had like 3 or 4 consecutive like shoulders to
Oh, so
him.
he was doing the shoulder lean like that song. T.I. shoulder lean.
Our boy Quan was there.
Yeah, Quan, tell us about it.
Yeah, it was the fight of the year because
Okay.
it's the first fight of the year.
Right. Okay. I'll
So it's
go with
definitely
that.
been the fight of the year so
I'll go
far.
with that.
That sounds good.
But I mean, it was dope. He could fight again tomorrow because he didn't take any damage to himself.
Right.
So yeah, it was dope. I mean, the card itself was weak. The Holly Holm fight was pretty weak.
Even with Raquel Pennington having all
Yeah,
that.
she didn't do anything. They just stood her up on the cage the whole time and didn't do anything. I know Dana was upset about that afterwards too, saying the
Really?
ref should have pulled them apart a lot of different times.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't a great card, but Connor was there, so it didn't matter. They
Right.
didn't have to have a great card. They could have had no other fights, and they would have sold as many seats as they did. So, for the UFC, it was great.
Right.
But for fans of watching fighting and all that, kind of boring fights, some duds.
Mm-hmm.
I think actually the fight night coming up this weekend is going to be a lot better, and there's some really good fights coming up. UFC 247,
Right?
well, 247, but 248 out here.
Oh, okay.
Out here.
yeah, because the 247 is at Houston, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
John Jones.
Yeah.
Yep.
So who's on this one that's coming up this weekend?
This is Blades and Dos Santos, I believe.
Oh, okay.
And there's some. I don't have it pulled up right now, but
Oh,
there's
okay.
some good fights. And 2 of the Contender Series fighters that we had covered are having their first fight in the UFC.
Oh, nice.
Tony Gravely, and my man Jamal Hill, who we had in the studio not too long ago, 2 months ago.
On Unnamed Sports Show?
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to Unnamed Sports Show, too. Check them out every
so
Monday evening, too.
They have their first fight, so it's been interesting seeing some of these Contender Series people that have their first fight
Getting on there.
in the UFC actually, doing it. And most of them have been winning. I know we had one this weekend, O'Day Osborne. He lost pretty bad. But it's been fun.
That's dope.
Well, that's good because it needs to be exciting and it needs to be something to bring to the
the
city.
Holly Holm fight wasn't. It was like,
And the ref did a bad job of that.
Really?
There was no action, and you're supposed to break them up if there's no action. But she won, and she needed that.
Well, now the audience had a lot of lookers, like when Natalie's Favorites was in house.
Oh, yeah? Who was your in-house favorite? Was it Miss Cambage?
It's my boo thing.
Just your boo thing?
All of her
Boo
boo
thing.
things
All
were
of
up
her
in
boo
there.
things. Who else
Tom
was there? Tom who? Brady?
Thomas.
Oh, that's who we... Oh, Thomas? Thomas. Oh, he's Thomas?
But Liz and Asia, I think, were there.
Yeah.
I really liked how they dissed Baker Mayfield and didn't announce that he was there.
The shame.
The shame.
The shame. Wow.
Especially when introducing especially when talking about the guy they're looking at, and right next to him is Baker Mayfield.
I
Love
thought
it.
he didn't like a lot of attention anyways.
Oh, I think
I
he
beg
likes
to
that kind
differ.
of... I think he likes that kind of attention.
He would have liked that.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's funny is that people get hyped up for the main event. You think it's maybe going to go a little. I don't know. I don't know how people prep to go to the fights if they're coming like right at the beginning of the card or if they're coming like a few fights in. Because for anyone that came towards just to see Connor, literally may not made it to their seat.
I walked out into the media room when the Holly Holm fight started because I had to move my camera, do some things. And there was people in line getting tickets. So by the time they got in,
and you're paying for that.
you're going to see the Connor fight. But most of them, if you're paying at that time, you just want to take Snapchats of yourself saying you're there.
Right.
Or boomerangs.
Boomerang.
Yeah,
I mean, that's all it
ticket.
was. The whole fight was a boomerang.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Well, it's funny because when I was in Maui, there was a bar that you had to pay like $59 to watch the fight. Meanwhile, me, I'm pulling up apps.
Meanwhile, at Red Rock, shout out to Red Rock, they were charging $20 for the fight.
Oh.
Yeah, so you
Well,
can go up
yeah.
there.
Buffalo Wild Wings was free. My mom and brother went. My mom has never watched UFC.
Really?
But she was hyped up because of Connor because of all the hype that comes around him.
Gotta love
So,
your mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to Mom
And
seeing her
she
first
watches
UFC
your
match.
show. She watches your show more than mine.
Well, Mom likes her. It's a girl thing,
It's a girl
Women
thing.
stick together. Yeah.
Yeah, you know how that goes.
Yeah. Shout out to Becker Washington. Wasn't it his birthday
It's
today,
his birthday day, too.
Happy birthday,
You guys are
Bex.
birthday twins.
Oh, twins.
Yeah.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Bex. When you coming out to Vegas to turn up for your birthday? That's what I want to know.
When you come on the show.
Yeah, that too. Like you always traveling
busy.
everywhere else. Come out and
Busy.
see us.
He was in Toronto not too long
Yeah,
ago, too.
right. They like
We
going to
stalked your
Canada.
IG story, too.
Yeah, we
It's
do.
Okay.
I stalk. After watching you, I'm stalking everybody now.
Hey.
Just kidding.
So, the Golden Knights got a new coach last week.
Yes, they did. We talked about that a bit.
And have not really changed much.
They won one match.
Well, and they lost two, which is
Yeah.
what they did prior to them losing
Mhm.
their coach or firing their coach.
Mhm.
So we were going into All-Star weekend. So this is, we have no hockey
Right.
for a week. Our next game isn't until like next week sometime.
Okay.
We only have one guy in the All-Star, Pacioretty.
Yep.
Marc-Andre Fleury did get voted in. However,
Yeah, but he's
he
not
declined,
going to do it.
so
Yeah.
that's fine. What do you think the outlook for these guys is right? I know it's still too early. We're halfway through. I know it's All-Star weekend, so we're halfway through the season. But at this point, I mean,
it's a shake up to wake up, I think, with everyone. It seems like this is an expendable type of sport where no one is safe.
clearly.
So they basically have to audition and just prove themselves. And whatever this coach wants, they need to try to execute it. They need to do a better job of executing it. They were very close in the Bruins game. They were ahead at one point last night, and they ended up losing. So I don't know what factors played into that. You guys, give us a call too if you want. 702-608-3259.
So,
Do you have input? You have input on that?
Well, I'm confused with that because we got the Sharks
Yes.
ex-coach,
Right.
And they're our rival, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
It happens.
That didn't make it. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I feel like
Set
this is
up.
politics for quite some time because even on the end of our former coach, he was politicked with because there was rumored to be he was going to Arizona Coyotes. So I feel like
Okay.
everybody talks to somebody.
Yeah.
And everybody's kind of like feeding for their next position. It's like how you're at work and you're like, hate my job. Let me just see what else is out there. You're filling out. Pretty much that seems like what happened.
Mhm.
And it came to a shock to us because, again, we're not there,
It is interesting.
Yeah.
Although it was nice, they have like the little golden knights, like the kids play out here, and two of them are getting sent to the All-Star Weekend.
Oh, nice.
To compete in like the little, I guess they have their own skills competition.
Okay.
And they get tickets for the red carpet, and they get to do some more
what's
things.
the age cutoff for this?
Not you,
Right.
not 39. It's
No,
like,
sorry, not-
it's like
yeah.
7 to 9 years old.
I was about to say that would make a nice birthday present for you and everything that, but I'm sorry. They're going to look at you like, where's the police? This woman is around these kids.
I mean, the way I ice skate, it's kind of like, I'm right there. So,
Yeah.
Right, you and
Yeah.
dads, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I could have
I will
Reese
not get
help
on
me
any
out.
skates ever again in life. Ever.
My ankles don't work like that.
My elbows
Shout
don't
out
work
to
like that.
Aircast.
So we got breaking news stories.
Yes.
Shout out to Cassandra. Shout out to my update on CNN as well as ESPN that AB has had a warrant issued out for his arrest for the situation that occurred yesterday as far as a domestic kind of battery and assault
With his trainer
with
involved.
this trainer
Who
involved. The
already
trainer
was
got arrested.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess they assaulted a neighbor who was moving. Like, well, what's going on?
So,
And-
Antonio, if you're watching right now, you might want to hide a little more.
I mean, he should have gone on live with it. Then we would have known what's going on.
He needs to relax.
he needs a new agent. He needs a new team.
And baby mama posted recently, I think she was on Instagram writing along another paragraph herself about the kids and this, that, and the other. It's like,
how about just take care of the kids and stay off social media?
and how about what about your other kids? I just want to know what's up with them. If you're going to talk about these kids, talk about your other kids too. I'm just saying. You're going to post all that, post it all.
Antonio.
Yeah, I was-
Definitely a diss dude.
Yeah, this dude for sure.
I definitely wasn't sad when he left the Patriots.
No.
Let's just say that.
And I definitely wasn't sad when he left the Raiders.
Thank you. All right.
And
Get
I
that
definitely wasn't
energy
sad
off
that we
my
didn't pick
team.
him up.
Yeah. Get
Yeah.
that energy off my team.
Yeah.
Right, we don't need it. We definitely did not need
So
it.
this was Antonio Brown. They were moving some of his stuff. I'm not
Oh,
sure
his
in
stuff.
or
Oh.
out, but he didn't want to pay the $4,000 fee.
He never wants to pay.
Exactly, and so
He doesn't have a
they were
job,
going to
so-
leave. If you're not paying, we're going
Right.
to leave with your stuff. And
Gotcha.
and so he threw rocks at the truck. He went into the driver's door and started hitting the guy. So they're going to get more than the $4,000 now.
Yeah.
So hey, hit me,
Well,
me,
and
Antonio.
It had to.
Right.
I mean,
That was going to be $4 million.
Right.
and it's so loud that the neighbors hear it. So, their houses aren't
That's
like
where
out
the
here in
neighbors are
Vegas
involved.
where
Okay,
it's
gotcha.
like your houses are this close together. Like, I can only imagine how far they have between their homes there. And it was so loud that the neighbors call it in. I don't know.
How bad.
He's done it, and I just hope his life story doesn't end the way I think it's going to. And I hope he gets help.
this will
because
be a
he-
great
he's
another
gone.
note.
Definitely be another 30 for
definitely.
30.
Well, it'd be a definitely great Netflix like Aaron Hernandez thing.
I mean, but
Well, I hope they do it.
you don't want to
before-
be great like that, though.
Yeah.
Not great, but I mean, just a worth the watch kind of
Well,
thing.
yeah, you
'Cause
hope it's
wanna
not
see,
someone's
but it has
life
to go
that's
severe.
worth the
Yeah,
watch.
right.
But that's where it's headed, I think.
I don't know if it's heading to him assaulting or killing somebody, dare I
He
say.
can kill.
But I hope he doesn't
Are
hurt
you
himself.
sure?
There could be some
No, because I think he's all
accidental-
bark and not too much bite. I think he's that mental where he can go far,
I don't
but he
think
won't go
he's
too
To
planning.
far.
get
anything.
attention for
Yeah,
himself.
for
you
attention.
don't know.
I don't
Right.
think I think he's a
Maybe him driving recklessly and something happened.
right. I don't see him being that caustic to a certain degree. Well, maybe he was because Mike Mayock. I mean, he threatened him as well. But again, it was a
This guy's getting crazier by the day. It's not even. I mean, this is
Yeah.
his stories are getting crazier by the day.
He
He's losing it. He
definitely-
needs help,
He
and
definitely
he
has the
doesn't think he
attention.
needs help, and he doesn't want to seek help. But he needs
Yeah.
help.
He's
But
got
and he'll
the
never play in the
attention.
NFL again. That's
oh yeah, because he even has a hearing coming up with them, does he not?
he's done. He's
Yeah,
done
so they're
in the
not
NFL.
gonna- they're
the
not
best
gonna-
wide receiver in the NFL is not going to play in the NFL.
Well, we have a lot of bests we got to talk about too that are no longer playing or just deciding not to play on their own, as well as we get into that later on. But yeah, AB is just I don't know. I can't make it logic because then it'll make me crazy. So I don't want to try to make this logic. But you're absolutely right. Kwani needs help and he's caustic and I feel like he's very attention seeking. And maybe this will be his rock bottom if he does get arrested and he goes through the process and all of this stuff. Maybe that's what he needs. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't either. It's kind of crazy. Crazy. Oh, so UNLV,
Yes.
they had their game against the Lobos not too long
Yes.
ago. They won that game.
Yes.
They've actually been doing really well. 11 and
Yeah.
9 and second in the Mountain West. I mean, big
That's
ups
not
to them.
bad.
That's not bad.
Not bad at all.
It's not terrible.
They played tonight or they already played? I think they played today. I think.
Yes, they
Yes.
did have a game today.
Oh, they play in Nevada. They play in UNR
UNR,
today.
yes.
They're both I think they're both 9 and 9 or 11 and 9.
right, because the
They're both
ladies
doing
played today at home against UNR.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the ladies are doing good.
Sunday. So for all of you out here in Vegas who have nothing to do on Sunday, the UNLV men's basketball team will be playing at home at 1:00 against the number 4 ranked San Diego State.
Ooh.
Literally, tickets can't be more than a few bucks.
No, I need everybody to show up to that one.
I mean, there's no hockey this weekend at
Right.
1:00 on Sunday. Not much is happening. You can still come back home and catch the Pro Bowl or whatever else you want to do. Get out there and support. If you're in UNLV or if you're in Vegas and you're an alumni and if you're a constant repper of Las Vegas sports, get out there and watch. Support.
And go get me some glazed pecans while you're at it out there too, and you can just drop them off outside the studio door.
Man.
Yeah. Because I won't make that one, unfortunately. I have to work, but I won't make it. Well, you can get them for me, maybe.
I
huh?
can. I'll bring it back.
Yeah,
Just
I love
remind
it.
me.
That
Just
sounds like a
remind
good
me.
time.
What's that?
Sounds like a good time.
Yeah, you should go.
I'm gonna go.
You
Yeah,
definitely
good.
should. I'll go.
Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the Lights start training camp. Our
Yes.
soccer team here,
Yes.
USL team.
Yes.
Starts training camp on the 1st.
Mhm.
I was looking at Facebook or your Instagram or whatever gives you memories of a year ago. And like
Mhm.
not too long ago, we were at the training, their preseason games last year. There
Mhm.
hasn't been any announced this year because, so here's what I learned. Usually we have an MLS competitor for our
Right.
preseason. Well, this year, because MLS decided to start their season early for the first time in like 25 years, we don't have any like really preseason games against other MLS teams.
Oh,
So that's the reason why there is like not going to be at least a MLS versus Lights preseason game.
yeah,
The
And then their
regular
first game
season
is
in
away.
March. Yeah.
yeah. So we're gonna try and get Tommy back on again.
For
And I reached
sure.
out to him. He didn't text me back yet, but I'm working on it.
We'll stalk Tommy.
Yeah, we'll just stalk him.
Yeah.
Tommy,
We'll get Coach.
you know we're gonna.
And
get
Harry
you-
had a
Coach.
great interview with Coach on the Lights homepage.
Oh, shout out to Harry Ruiz of the
For
Lights.
sure. It
Okay,
was
yeah.
good. He had his
Good.
little, beard for being off season.
Oh, I know.
I
I
was
love
like,
it.
oh,
He
that's
needs to
cool.
keep it. I kind of
Yeah,
like it. He's a
yeah.
fellow Raider Nation person as
You know
myself.
he's out there
Yeah.
loving that too.
Yes, he is.
The Aces.
Mm-hmm. Your girl.
My girls.
Yes, they actually unveiled their 2020 calendar. We've got 2
Yep.
more games this season. It's 36 instead of 34. We start off at home on the 17th of May. So it's going to be.
We're going,
Yeah.
and you're going.
Hopefully.
Oh,
I'm
no.
keeping my
Your
fingers crossed.
Your Connect is she's season ticket holder, right?
Donna,
Yes,
and
Miss
her,
Donna.
and her tattoo
Yes.
is finished.
Her tattoo is finished. It is amazing.
Shout out to
She
Derek
got
Hamby.
a Derrica on
Yeah,
her leg.
okay.
Yes, she did. She
All right.
That was good.
got through that tattoo. It's amazing. And the plan is to be there, but baby watch it for that time. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
So my plan is to be there, though.
All right.
And just so that you guys know, since it is an Olympic year, so there's not going to be an all-star break.
Mhm.
It's going to be almost like a month-long break in the season for the Olympics. So from the 11th of July until the 15th of August, there's no WNBA. It's just a break for the Olympics.
Wow.
So there'll be no all-star break. So there'll be no all-star
Boo.
Vegas.
And no All-Star
that was so
Vegas.
fun
That
last
was
year.
fun.
Oh my
That
gosh,
was.
that was so much
What an
fun.
experience.
It
I
was.
know.
It was.
But the ladies, at least a few of our ladies, Kayla, Asia, and they will be they'll be playing on Sunday, 27th. That's Monday, I think.
Mhm.
They'll be playing Monday at UConn for that Team USA opening
Oh, nice.
game against UConn.
I can't wait to have our girls back.
Yeah, I
It
miss
just
them.
feels, it's so like boring
the good
without
stuff.
them.
Wow. So much going on.
It is.
It's a lot.
It
It's a lot.
is.
So yeah, they'll be
And-
playing. They were all out here too. They've done some interviews. Our guy Brian had both Asia and Liz on a couple times.
Yes,
on
he
News
has. Shout out to
3.
Brian. Mhm.
Jackie Young was at the MLK parade
Yep.
here in Las Vegas. So,
Nice.
So that was good. I think that was
Represent.
all good stuff.
Okay, real quick, I just got to segue into this, and then it'll probably be time to call our guest.
Yeah.
I know everyone saw the announcement about the NFL draft. We didn't go into the particulars of how awesome this draft is
Oh my
going to
God,
be in Las
it's very
Vegas.
exciting.
Man,
exciting.
estimated
I'm going media with
700,000.
guys.
You
Okay.
better. You're a
Listen,
girl. You're our point
I'm
person.
gonna be there.
We need you there. Estimated 700,000 people to come to the city of Las
At
Vegas.
least. Because there was 600,000, I think, in Nashville.
in Nashville. Yeah, 700,000 at best for 3 days
Mhm.
on the Strip, in front of the Bellagio, over by Caesar's Palace,
and
over by the lake.
We have to clarify because
Yeah.
some people were getting a little frustrated with thinking that that the stage on the water is not where you're going to be seeing the Goodell bringing up the players.
Right.
It's the red carpet where everybody's kind of going past to do their once overs and hellos and whatever.
Yeah.
It's going to be more towards the Link and the Ferris wheel where they'll have the main stage. Well, they'll be doing all of the, announces and picks and stuff like that.
So, for what I surmise, the streets will be blocked from Flamingo to Park MGM Way. It's not going to be the whole strip, just so you know. It's just that little radius there.
And I think from Las Vegas Boulevard to Koval or something like that.
Yeah, on the backside.
Yeah, on the backside.
On the backside. Yes,
the
perfect.
east side.
On the east side.
Yeah.
Yes, perfect. And for my Raider fans, they're going to have a little Raiders area. They're going to have the Lombardi Trophy room set up where Raider fans like myself and others can see our 3 Lombardi trophies, soon to be 4, hopefully, in that room. And then you probably be able to see some other meet and greets. And it's just going to be a great, great event. It's something that the city is needing. I don't know. I checked in on the live when the Raider organization met with the city council as far as the planning, how the construction is going to go, the times of the construction to build the stage, when there are going to be road closures. And some people polled that it might be a little inconvenient, but they're doing it in hours of the night that shouldn't be bad at that time, but you just never know. But I think they're on schedule to have everything completed and no hiccups the way they have this designed out. This is going to be something that no one's ever seen. This is going to be, they're really going with the theme of Vegas. Like, this is Vegas. We got to do it big. We're going to show it out. It's going to be better than Nashville, which I thought Nashville was cool and all, but I really didn't see much with it. Did you?
I did. Because I'm one of the I know there's not everybody says talks about the drive. I watch it. I watch it to the 5th, 6th. I watch it. So I always noticed what they were doing because I was watching it. But for people that were maybe, it wasn't tons of coverage on ESPN or regular news outlets. So I don't know. But I'm sure it'll be crazy since it'll be here. I'm sure all the news media will be all over the place.
Definitely.
I'm not looking forward to the traffic, but I'm super, super excited.
It'll be tough for those people that work on the strip, but it's just a small pain for a larger.
I'll take it.
I'll take it. I'm all about it, man. I'm all about it. And I can't believe Steven Sr. on here on our chat is saying F the Raiders. But you know what? You're going to be right there in that Death Star. I don't care. And, we're going to talk about Super Bowl predictions and all that good stuff and later on. But yeah, I can't believe you just said that. You're so mean to me right now. This is bad.
Let's get
That
Chrissy
negative
on the
energy.
line.
Yeah.
So we're going to give a call to Chrissy, our girl Chrissy Sanders. She's been on before. She's CEO and founder of Team Next Play. Also has her own podcast, which I love to listen to. It's not just a game podcast. She's a sports and brand marketing. She's a venture capitalist. This girl is young
she's
and
all
does
time.
it all.
Yeah, she's all time.
And she's probably freezing because she's in Cleveland.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
We can send her some hand
But we
warmers.
definitely are trying to get a kind of her perspective, the business side on the WNBA and this new CBA of hers. All right, Chrissy.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, Chrissy.
Hey.
How are
Hey,
you?
what's up? How are you?
Good. How are you?
Welcome,
good,
welcome,
I'm good.
welcome. Well, we did a little intro for
Thanks
you.
for having me.
Yes, we always love to get your insight, and we love talking to you, and of course, sharing stories and whatnot. But let's just get down into it. We already discussed. We already knew about the contract, the CBA being last week being approved. Well, I guess officially, not officially, but we kind of wanted to get more of a business from your aspect, some of the things that maybe we didn't realize just from reading some of the articles or some of the points maybe that you wanted to point out in regards to it. Because for us, I know me and Mo love the WNBA. We love our Aces. Our girl Natalie that's here in studio with us, she is an avid Aces supporter. And so we all want to know what it is, what this means for the players, for the business of the WNBA especially, and stuff like that.
Yeah. Number one, thanks for having me. Appreciate it. But I think one of the biggest things that I think that people will find and why you see so much drastic change that is so in the favor of the players is because this is the first time that the WNBA has had a commissioner. When you look at, Kathy, she was the first female CEO of Deloitte, one of the most established firms in the country. And, and she had enough kind of juice and authority, to ask for, complete autonomy over running the league. You know what I mean? So when you see a lot of other women that were in the position of being a president or whatever case may be, a lot of them, were just basically, running all of their decisions and everything like that, to pass the NBA. And essentially, with Kathy being in charge of the WNBA as the commissioner, she really took the stand on, you see the language has changed. Like now it's all about investing in women, right? You know what I mean? And as you can see, she pulled in a lot of her corporate background with it, which is with bringing Deloitte in as a major sponsor of the league. You see a mandatory minimum of $1.6 million that teams must come up with in marketing and sponsorship dollars, from corporations and stuff like that, which creates an additional $300,000 in revenue for top players to be used in, corporate marketing campaigns from the partners. You never saw that kind of stuff before. A lot of, back in the day, it was just basically, you just go play for your team or whatever case may be. If Capital One decides to sign to the Mystics or whatever, the Mystics kept that money. So now you see like a shared interest in not only marketing the players, but also sharing the revenue in the marketing so that players can get the mainstream exposure that you see LeBron has, with Sprite and having and you see even you saw that deal happen this summer with Asia Wilson and Mountain Dew. You know what I mean? So leaning on the different corporate sponsors in order to create revenue and exposure and notoriety for the players was a real big push, other than just the salaries, so that was one of the big things that people saw.
Why do you think that it took this long, or it took a commissioner like Kathy to get involved to make that change? It seems like that was already, it sounds like this could have already been done a while ago, because it was already there as far as them being able to get more shares or more revenue from the marketing and from the sponsorships. But what made it so different this time? Was there more players being more active and trying to gain those things in their new CBA contracts? Or what do you think was the turning point that really changed all this?
Yeah, not only, it was a couple different things. So, like, we all know from social media and the media and different things like that women across the board have been demanding equal pay, from Hollywood to, all across the board. You see the same thing in women's soccer. But I noticed one of the big things that people don't realize is that for most of the years that the WNBA has been in existence, and even when it came to life, this was a lot of David Stern's pushing this God rest his soul, on NBA owners. This was not something that NBA owners wanted, and you didn't see the investment in the league, in the sense of people were, you didn't see the counterparts of WNBA city teams and NBA teams partnering together. You didn't see you didn't see a lot of help where the NBA could have really could have given WNBA the wings to fly, but they didn't, and they kind of were, quite frankly, became more of an obstacle and a roadblock in the WNBA's way in their growth. You know what I mean? And so whenever they would go and ask for more money, that it was like all about revenue. It was, oh, well, you're not doing this, you're not doing that. When, as you can see, when you look at men's soccer or men's lacrosse and all this other stuff, people are making blind investments in men's sports. And so when Kathy came into the fold, and when the narrative started to change about investing in women, when people talk about investments, people are talking about get rich quick. You know what I mean? Like, people are talking about make money down the line. And so that language was so important that people started to understand, number one, not only are we not getting even revenue, and they're still not getting the even revenue shares, not 50-50 like the men, but we're not getting the same investment. We're not getting the same working condition investments. We're traveling on different, on all types of different transportation situations. We're late for games. We're canceling games. I was at a Mystics game one time, and then the roof started leaking. And everybody had to cancel the game, and they had to replay it. You know what I mean? With the Connecticut Sun. So it was like the investment just wasn't there. And these women in this generation and this commissioner put a really big emphasis on investing and bringing in the partners that they have, and not just sitting here taking a write-off where, hey, Capital One, we're getting a couple marketing dollars, but, we really want to invest in the Wizards. Like, no, we are putting a real big emphasis on this is a partnership with the WNBA and its players, and we're going to use our players in the marketing campaigns. We're going to integrate it into your marketing efforts. Like, you're going to see our players on social media campaigns, our players on billboards, our players, you know what I mean? So it was a real turning point, as in saying, okay, how do I make this venture successful versus how do I just make it survive? You know what I'm saying? So that was like a big difference.
Right.
Now, so we already know that they're getting a bump in pay across the board, whether you're being a max paid or you're a rookie minimum or a veteran minimum. They're all getting bumped at some, whether it be large or small, they're getting some kind of a compensation increase, as well as there's childcare stipends, fully paid maternity leave, and they get, which I think is, hello, your own hotel room. As a grown woman, you got to share and bunk up with somebody on the road. Not to mention, you're over 6 feet tall and you're sitting in a middle row of a seat on a cross country flight that may not make it. I mean, listen, I've said that before. I'm 5'10" and I hate that middle seat. Like, I don't even know what it would be like to be 6'4" or 6'6" and stuck in and then you basically are expected to play at your full potential, the next day or later that day when you get in. Like, that's just insane. One of the things I found that was most interesting. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just saying when you're basically booking flights on Expedia.
Yeah, hello.
Right. But,
Hello. Maybe I do have a job event. I could be like a travel agent for now. Kidding. But the one thing I think that was most important, and I think especially with the recent mental health stuff that's come out in professional sports, is that they're going to have better mental health benefits and resources. They're also going to have a domestic violence program as well. Because one thing that I think there was a girl, I don't remember her name, but she had basically played with the 3 different WNBA teams, and only one of them had a mental health provider, a service provider.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that crazy? I mean, with Liz having spoken up this year, as well as some of the male athletes that even just this last week that were realizing our mental health is more concerning. Like, how big of a picture is that just for the women to know that there is some help for them? Because otherwise, I mean, there was nothing really.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at in the past, historically across the league, you look at Shamika Holdsclaw was one of the first real players to talk about mental health issues, and it wasn't even as big as it was today, but she talked about the things that she battled with, going back and forth with depression, and, when you see a talent of Shamika Holdsclaw's caliber, and to think that, maybe her career could have been a little bit more longer if she would have been able to, have support within her team to be able to feel free to talk about that kind of thing. I think mental health is going to be huge for across the board, because athletes are people too, and they may be very talented people, but they're dealing with the same anxieties, depression. Some people have bipolar disorder, as you saw, like the situation with Delonte West this week. It's really important to make sure that these players are able to focus on maxing out their gifts and their talents, and not focused on how they're going to get through the day-to-day mentally. So that was definitely huge. And I also thought what was really interesting too was the $60,000 allocation towards family planning as well, because which I thought was really respectful as well, because although you have the maternity benefit, you do have a large majority of the league that is LGBT.
Yes.
And so at that point, it gives them the opportunity to get funds for adoptions that are really expensive, some different like fertilization, techniques and things like that. So it's really it's one of the most progressive and inclusive CBA agreements that I think that a lot of leagues could learn from.
Yeah.
Because when you even talk about the mental health, like the WNBA is one of the few leagues where I think people can even feel okay being LGBT.
Mm-hmm.
Where like you don't necessarily feel comfortable doing that in the NFL or the NBA or the MLB or the MLS, you know what I mean? And that's huge to even have some type of allotment so that people can actually build families with the people that they care about and not have to fit into a certain mold.
Yeah.
I
you touched on it.
Yeah, you did. And I'm
mean,
still in awe that they're going to make this. I mean, it just seems like so night and day for just the difference of, I mean, granted, some of the things won't kick in until like 2021, but just the fact that all of this has changed and changed the whole scope of what the WNBA symbolizes now for some women.
Yeah.
It is just amazing.
It is. And I think the key word that you mentioned earlier, Chrissy, was the fact that it's the future. Like we have to look at the future outcome because let's be real, WNBA across the board has never turned a profit as of yet on any of the events that they've had. So when you mentioned that Kathy Ingleberg,
but neither has the MLS.
Right, exactly. So and when you mentioned Kathy Engelbert's pitch was the fact that we're looking as far as a future of some profitable revenue on top of the owners making money. Finally, I think that holds true to all of this with the collective bargaining, and I think that'll get everybody into attendance to take watch that these are actual professional players. These are real, these are players that deserve to be in the league and need these same types of benefits and more. You know what I mean?
I just started watching the WNBA when the Aces came to Las Vegas. So learning that the ladies already didn't have this in place was just shocking to me.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing...
Right. And when you think about... Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, I mean, when you the background that Kathy comes from, and I'm not knocking her from Deloitte, and she is a deal maker, like to the core of her soul. And when you look at the multifaceted way that she pulled it together, like they're planning to meet revenue goals through the typical streams of revenue, such as broadcasting agreements and the marketing agreements, and then ticket sales, merch sales, all that kind of stuff. But she also she put it like on the owners where like you're not going to basically have a team and exist and not invest in it. You're not going to have a team and not market it. You're not going to have a team and not go out there sponsorship dollars. Like, you know what I mean? She really kind of made this deal come together, from a deal making perspective. From you look at other female leagues, it has not had that type of aggression and type of boldness, in their negotiation and how they made things come together.
Yeah.
You're right. Now, switching gears, and I'll make this quick, and I just want you to comment on this because Mel has already set you up with a question I'm about to ask. But for our audience, breaking news also broke within the WNBA about Maya Moore not returning for the second time in a row of her consecutive season with Minnesota Lynx. Minnesota Lynx, that she is not going to play this year nor compete into the 2020 Olympic team. She is pursuing some outside passion as far as social injustices regarding a gentleman by the name of Jonathan Irons, who was wrongly convicted of a robbery and battery assault charge at the age of 16. I believe his sentence is almost
50 years or something.
Something just really crazy, ridiculously astronomical.
Yeah, it's absurd.
It is very absurd. So she also has Christianity on her side, being an evangelistic Christian, has cited that as part of the source of her feeling like it's also a calling for her to try and bring to right this wrong. And just going full blast, not going into the league, just again, I think the Lynx ended last season 18-19 from the time that they were consecutive 6-time champions, and she was part of that, being that a star. So I did a poll online, and I posed the question of, is she making the mistake, or is it wrong for her to not play? And we got 70% of people saying, yes, she should go ahead and pursue this. And you were one of the no's at 30% with a few other followers that we had. And I just want to know, what is your reasoning behind that, or what is your opinion about that as far as her not going to pursue basketball? Because to me, she's seeming that this is bigger than basketball in her stance.
Yeah, I mean, when number one, I am always pro my business, and I'm always pro. People got to do whatever they have to do for themselves. You know what I mean? If I'm looking at a poll online, and and I see like that, and you see one of the top talents in the league,
right,
and you see what type of notoriety and what type of fanfare she has, and you see the WNBA making so many incredible moves forward towards having more exposure within the league and things like within the world, and I just thought that it would be a great opportunity for her to get her just due. I didn't think that it made any sense for her all these years to be the talent that she is, to make this little money that she did, to play in empty visitors arenas. When you have someone that is at the altitude of Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, to think about the amount of history that has been lost within the WNBA due to people's failure to invest in women's sports and not give them the proper opportunities they should. Of course, that doesn't matter to everybody, but from the outside looking in, I just would love to see, if I could, I would love to even bring back Tina Thompson, Cheryl Swoops, all those people right now, because I just don't think it's fair what those women went through at the level that they were, of the talent that they are. I think the CBA is good, but I don't think it's enough. I think that charter flight should have been mandatory. You know what I mean? This is a professional basketball league. This is not, a bunch of girls getting together, and, shooting the shit and hooping, So, I just felt that, I would love to see her come back and to be the face of the league, and for her to be able to get paid what she's worth, to be compensated, to be marketed properly, and things like that. But, she has definitely more important things to do, because you already know basketball is not important in the grand scheme of somebody losing their life, and when it comes down to being incarcerated and behind bars, it's one step before death, essentially. And I think it's really admirable of her in this time to be unselfish, because, like I said, going back to history being buried, and a lot of people's histories being buried, she cared enough to not let this man's life get away. And you can't do anything but, be grateful to her for that.
Right. You can't. I mean, you can't knock it. No. I mean, and she's accomplished everything. Right. I mean, she's been WNBA Rookie of the Year. She was league MVP. She's a 5-time All-Star. I mean, she averaged 18 points a game. I mean,
I wonder if she's
probably
still
feels
getting
like
Team
this
Jordan
is her
money
thing.
too.
Maybe. I don't know.
That could be a compensation for
yeah,
not
exactly.
playing
But
either.
I mean, she's
got
winning.
Money, like.
In her mind, she's winning, and it's almost a thing of what could she do that's more off court. But I'm kind of torn on this, because I feel like on court she could be promoting this as well and advocating this and getting fellow teammates to go in on this and making it a national thing of awareness, to game to game, and always at interviews, instead of talking about the game, she could pull a Marshawn Lynch and say, let me tell you about Jonathan Irons. You know what I mean? Just totally change the segue of that and put the word out that this is something that's on a big scale, because we'll hear this story today, but we probably won't hear any more follow-up stories about what happened.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
it's kind of a catch-22 with that.
That too.
Yeah.
That too, and and you look at even Kim Kardashian and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. A lot of people, and I'm myself included, like, I think that a lot of people should start speaking up on a lot of things that just make more sense than what we usually speak up about. Like, people can tell you about breakfast, avocado toast, and all that, but, like, to your point, I would hate to see a person lose a platform or a vehicle, you know what I mean, that they can use to make change by just you know how it is with the news cycle, the 24 hours now.
Right.
If you're not constantly making news and doing this, that, and the other, sometimes your voice can, be a little bit, weakened from it. But, she's a woman of faith, and I'm pretty sure that if God told her something in her heart, then he will be with her all the way.
Absolutely.
And, and that's it, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Hey, real quick before we let you go, because we've had you, and I appreciate you for being on. The last question I really had was, how do you foresee this? Because part of the new CBA was trying to link players with postseason jobs, either in the NBA franchises or kind of like working within other opportunities. How do you foresee that hampering overseas play, or whether, obviously it would be good for us to keep our girls here, to not let them get injured overseas, having a second, a part-time job basically overseas. What do you think that's going to do as far as for the worldwide spectrum of women's basketball?
I think it's going to be huge because I believe that it's going to keep these players in the media and top of mind because, not everybody's going to want to coach. But when you lean on the marketing partners, and this is what I'm even talking about with the corporate deals that she was able to set up in negotiating the CBA agreement, when you're able to do commercials for Deloitte, when you're able to do commercials for Secret or whatever other partners that they're bringing on, not only are you collecting a check or whatever case may be, it's giving you opportunities to showcase yourself to a national audience. And I believe that it's going to mean a lot to the younger players growing up, where that they see that they can make a living and get the proper attention and exposure from a media perspective. And you look at Elena Beard, she retired today. Mm-hmm. She has a lot of venture capital aspirations, and not to get too technical on people, but a lot of these bonus structures and the salaries and stuff like that, WNBA players were not able to be accredited investors before. You know what I mean? An accredited investor has to, make $200,000 a year or have $1 million in assets, right? Mm-hmm. So at that point, it allows them to be able to get in venture deals. It allows them to get equity in companies and really showcase a lot of their passions and make money from it as well. You've seen what LeBron was able to do with Uninterrupted, with Ladder, all these different mm-hmm. ventures that he's able to attach himself to by just being able to be an accredited investor. But when you're making $70,000 a year, you can't even be in that conversation. Right. So it's with all these different revenue streams, these give these girls the capital to create the offshoots and the change and all the stuff that they wanted to do, even if it starts at a small level, which I think will be huge and give a lot of young girls a lot to look up to.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Chrissy.
And thank you so much for checking in with us and giving us, because we saved this discussion from last week to this week for this very reason, mm-hmm. because we're rolling into, it's coming up to the time of the season starting, and we really wanted to get clarification on how this works. And with this news with Maya Moore and other information, it just rolled right on time. Yeah. So perfect. But we really appreciate you so much. Where can they find you on your social medias real quick?
You find me Chrissy Sanders. It's Chrissy with an I. It's Chrissy Sanders on all platforms. So, just hit me up, follow me, whatever.
Of course.
All right. We got you.
Thank you, Chrissy.
Thank you so much, Chrissy. Appreciate it.
Bye.
All right. Thank you so much.
Girl Chat Sports with Mo and Mel. Yes. It's a Wednesday night. You just spoke with Chrissy Sanders, who has Team Next Play and host of It's Just Not a Game podcast. I know we're running a little bit out of time, so we're going to get into it, I guess.
We're going to speed roll through some things real quick. We had some announcements of some retirements coming out of the New York area. We also had some Hall of Fame news from the New York area. Yeah.
I'll go with MLB first.
Well, this is her part of the country.
That's why we have to do this. This East Coast girl got some fantastic news for her birthday about the captain. If you don't know who the captain is, then you've been living on a rock. And I'm not talking about Captain Antonil, and I'm not talking about Captain Crunch. I'm talking about the Captain Derek Jeter. Captain Morgan. Well, they know Captain Morgan, but Mr. Jeter.
My high school crush.
Who received, he was my crush too.
You got bumped for Tom?
Oh, he was before Tom.
He was before Tom, wasn't he?
He was before Tom, and I was still living in New York at the time, and me and my girl, this was about sophomore year of high school, so 96?
96 is when he got into the league, right?
Yeah. We all ditched school, and I was going to Richmond Hills High School out in Queens, and we all ditched for the day to go find Derek Jeter's house.
Love it. I got a Derek Jeter story for you, too.
I love it.
I love it. I thought it was
before
gorgeous,
Thomas.
too.
That was before.
Right.
So in 96, too, he was young, and yeah.
So how do you feel about that? He got almost unanimous voted. One person.
Yes. Yeah.
And then Twitter went off with that one vote.
Yeah, like, how dare you? This guy was the classiest baseball player, no kind of issues with performance.
Besides being a Yankee hater.
I mean, it's the Yankees. I mean, I'm a Bronx baby. It's in my blood. It came home where it deserves to be. So
yeah. And when he got the news, I posted it. He was with his family and his little ones, his parents. It was just the best news ever that he received. Now, on the flip side of that coin, we've got the New York Giants. I know not your team.
It's her second team.
It's my second team. It is my second team.
All right. So how are we feeling about the news today that Eli Manning
I've been saying for a while it was kind of time for him to kind
16 seasons.
16 seasons, two-time Super Bowl champion, Pro Bowler.
If Thomas was performing like he was, I would be like, okay, darling, it's time for you to kind of, sit down now a little bit and let the team overall get someone who can take them to the next level. Yeah. So, I was sad to see him go, but he did an amazing job, 2 rings, and it was over. My Patriots as well. So, I'm sad to see him go, leave the sport.
I think it was time.
It is definitely time. And he knew it. It was definitely
Giant
time.
fans, celebrating this
absolutely.
now.
I mean, they have to. I mean, it's time.
Yeah.
It all has to come to an end. So, speaking of coming to an end, Tom Brady, what do we predict for his season? Because, they have rumors that he might go to New York.
Is he leaving, or is
he
he retiring?
Not going nowhere. He's going to finish where we started, and that's that. We don't buy into the rumors.
Yeah,
we're going to let everyone talk. We're going to just let people talk, let the season play out, and I think he's going to be right there in New England and finishing out his career with, where he started. So
I think so, too.
I have zero worries about that. I've learned from him and Papa Bill not to, get into all of that small talk.
So do you think he's finally going to get his farewell check? Because he's taking a pay cut through this whole season to get the line that he wants and all of these stars. He's like he's not the highest paid quarterback. Do you think this will be his bread pack of final goodbye?
He's so humbling that I really don't see it.
He's got Giselle money.
He has Giselle money. He has TB12, which you guys need to read the TB12 book. It is absolutely amazing. I don't know
about all that.
But
I don't know if I'm gonna read all that now. But I know they would lose millions if they did get rid of him. So it's just a matter of them compensating him after all these years, and I feel like he's gonna get that big.
I think he has maybe 1 or 2 more years left in him. I see Papa Bill staying a couple more years, maybe 5 more years. I see him coaching and kind of retiring.
Okay.
That's going to be a really hard one for me as well because, before the Patriots, he spent the 80s in New York and the Giants. So it was like, it's that time everyone we love is kind of leaving us. So,
Yeah, as we get older, it kind of fans itself out.
I'm
you just don't realize
all the coaches are now younger than you.
Yeah, right. Players are babies. Like, it's crazy. All right.
And Zion's making his debut.
I just wish all of them aged as well as Mike Tomlin did. That would just be amazing. And then it's like, you could just stay a couple more years.
I mean, Tom's not that old, though. See, our 40s, we still good. Yeah.
So, Zion's back today.
Yeah, I don't know.
I keep on checking out because the game's on.
I don't know how well he's playing, and I kind of have to agree. Shout out to my brother Marcus, who was on the show, that I don't think they should have played him. I think he should have just sat for the rest of the season. I don't know if this would have been a reoccurring kind of injury thing. I don't want to knock on wood. I don't want to jinx it. I just think that
I just feel kind of like New
for
Orleans
the record,
needed it. Like,
did they though? Because they could go for first round draft picks.
They needed it to play, but like the more I don't know, like the city.
I mean,
if you're healthy, why not play?
I mean, if you are healthy, and I'm putting air quotes
if he wasn't healthy, they wouldn't have brought him back.
I don't know. Kevin Durant wasn't that fully healthy and came back? Klay Thompson came back in the finals and wasn't fully recovered. He got hurt.
Well, that's the
he came back to shoot a free throw.
Yeah.
No, if you're healthy, you're a rookie. You come back. Who cares? You're healthy.
I wouldn't come back.
Why?
I think I'd let him sit.
They have a chance to make the playoffs now that he's back.
Season.
They're only a few games out.
Okay, so what do we say? Gosh willing or not? If he gets hurt, then what do we say to that?
I mean, if he gets hurt, he could have got hurt next year when he comes back. I mean, it's an athlete. You have to play. That's what you do for a living. So play your sport. If you get hurt, you get hurt.
I mean, with the load management,
you can get hurt anytime.
Well, you can, but I mean, the load management too. He could take the
take,
and then they're limiting his playing time, right? Aren't they?
Right.
I mean, of course, everyone does that when you first come back.
But think of this. So usually I read the Pelicans give out like 25 media passes.
Mm-hmm.
Today they gave out 160.
Wow. Just for Zion to come back.
Just for Zion.
For the draw.
So I'm saying, like, I think for the Pelicans, for New Orleans as a city, I think that's something that just, beyond him being healthy and having to play, I think it's something that the city wants.
I mean, they have a chance at the playoffs. They definitely do if he's coming back. But why even take that chance if he seems to get...
But if he's healthy...
Yeah. I mean, you guys make valid points
on that. Why sit around for another half of the season if you're healthy?
I mean, why sit and take the L and you can get draft picks later on and be bigger and stronger?
If you're healthy and you're sitting on the bench, are you just happy to be sitting there like, man, I could be playing?
Name the best 3 college players coming into this draft.
We don't know. I mean, we don't have any as of yet that we know
Name 3 college players.
I can't.
Okay. So what draft pick do you want?
I mean, if
there's no one worth tanking the
draft. Yeah,
not NBA wise. If it was football,
maybe. If it was football, would it be a different
football's
narrative?
harder. I mean, that's like a more it's a more physical sport.
I mean, people were split on the votes on our polls for Zion coming back.
I'm glad he's back. I'm looking forward to watching
to see him play, but I just feel like why?
Now that football is over, I need basketball.
It's his job. It's what he does. It's what he gets paid for. Why not?
I mean, is he paid on the bench too?
Give me the rest of the year off.
He's not paid on the. He's not paid on the contingency of not playing, or is he already paid? How does that work?
Yeah, he gets paid.
Okay, I'm just.
But
if he's healthy, why not play? I don't understand why that's so hard for people to understand. We
mean,
live in a generation of people that just.
It's a glass house.
Let me get paid and not have to work.
I think my biggest thing is I worry that I just feel like it's a little as flukes of his injuries. Like he got injured when he was playing with Duke on the tennis shoot thing. He got injured right at the start of the summer league getting hurt. I just feel like it's some kind of jinx.
And he's going to get if he's going to have a short career. What does it matter if he breaks his leg this year and doesn't play again for the rest of his career, or sits out all year and plays next year and sits out for the rest of his career?
But then that's a sad tale for the Pelicans to figure out what their next move is.
I'm with you. Okay, just enjoy your season. To me, play good. Take some time for yourself.
Yeah.
I just see him playing. I tread light on that. I don't know. We'll see.
And most people start playing basketball. Why? Because they love playing basketball.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, that's the reason why he also wanted, get drafted too. You want to go play at the next level. Let him play at the next level. Hopefully, it all works out for his favor.
Yeah.
And your Lakers?
Yeah, my Lakers.
Can we talk about the Cougar moment?
First of all, we're not going to talk about the Cougar moment. We're going to talk about a special day today. So on this day in 2006, where's his little thing? I don't even know where his bobblehead is. But Kobe Bryant scored 80 points. 81 points to be exact.
It was a birthday present for me that day.
Against the Toronto Raptors with no Drake back in 2006. So I just wanted to leave that GOAT status out there.
Team of one. No, we're just kidding.
Kobe, whatever. It was a Laker.
Okay, so the Cougar moment being...
She wants to embarrass our Lakers with us losing 30-some points because LeBron wore green shoes on the night that he played against the Boston Celtics, which to me was stupid. And it was ridiculous that they lost like that.
Well, it was crazy because I was like,
I'm glad they lost.
Well, when I saw them with the score, I was like, well, wait, so was LeBron, was everybody out? I figured, AD's still out. LeBron's probably, who else is out? But no, they had a team. He wore green shoes.
Yeah, why did he wear those green shoes? What was that supposed to do?
Cougar moment.
No, this dude and crew did. This dude wears green shoes against the Boston Celtics team, and I'm just like, why?
I don't know. Maybe he lost a bet. I lost a bet. I had to pay up this weekend.
Oh, yeah, you sure did. I've done that bet with Green Bay before. I've had to wear the green hat
I've never worn any other team's stuff before that.
I had to do it, too.
This was the first.
I've been there.
I remember that.
That was terrible. It was very hard. And I had to shout it out and everything.
I know.
I'm
sorry.
Oh, goodness.
At least it wasn't Patriots.
And then they're saying that Steph Curry could come back in March. Now, there's one thing
that's kind of crazy to me,
why
too.
come back if you really have no chance of making it to the playoffs?
No.
Now, that's a point I would understand.
I feel what's the record of the Pelicans
March
right now?
Is basically you're in playoff. You're ready to get.
Where are the Pelicans ranked right now?
Pelicans are 17-27.
Oh, so they're solid. They're solid.
And Memphis is in the 8th spot at 20-23. So they're three games out.
Where are my Knicks?
Of eighth place.
So I could see them doing that. You guys make a valid point.
Yeah, where are my Knicks?
Oh, they just lost to who they lose to tonight? Oh, the Lakers.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Well, we knew that was going to be, But I feel like with the Lakers, we're still at a single-digit loss team. We're not, double digits on our losses. So we're still in there. And we're not going anywhere.
In a quick change of the one thing I wanted to mention before, because I know next week will be kind of like we're going to gear up for Super Bowl, probably talk some prop bets. One thing that came out, I think last week, was that for the Super Bowl, the ref that's calling it, Bill Vinovich, he was the lead ref that had the blown PI call in the Saints-Rams game.
Oh, great.
And he is officially the lead ref for the Super Bowl.
Oh, great.
How do you screw up so badly to then get promoted to do it again for the Super Bowl?
So then I guess our prop bet is on the ref then.
Basic. We need to.
What's the outcome of that game going to be? The red and red game.
That's so much red.
The Red Sea. Game. The Red Sea of Miami. The red wedding of Miami. Oh my gosh.
Speaking of red, our girl power moment. Let's give it up to the UNLV cheer and Rebel girls dance team.
Woo woo. Back-to-back champions.
The UNLV cheer is back-to-back national champions. The girls have won like 3 years in a row.
So they're the only ones bringing trophies back to Vegas then for UNLV is what you're telling me right now.
The trophy cabinet at UNLV is
it's like Bring It On.
Dusty old trophies and then all these brand spanking ones of dancers.
It's kind of like Bring It On where the Toros were like the champions and their football team stunk.
That movie
but
is
they were
awesome.
it was. People cheered more for the cheerleaders than they did the players. That's what we're rolling into in the UNLV situation, it looks like.
It is. But hey, again, you guys, Sunday, 1 o'clock, UNLV is home against the 4th-ranked San Diego State. Please come out and watch that game. Okay? That'd be great.
So real quick, did we know before we wrap up that Green Bay was going to lose on Sunday? That was
Not
a given,
like
right?
That. Not the.
I thought they would have played better.
I fell asleep on it.
The score wasn't even indicative of the play. I think because they got some extra points towards the end, it just wasn't good. It was not a good game. Like Green Bay didn't show
it off, so I don't know.
I'm like, do they?
And
know
I felt
this
bad
is
because I felt like
championship?
I was wearing their gear, so I think I might have jinxed them. I don't know. I felt bad. Like my girlfriend's household, they're all Packers fans, so I'm just like, whoops. Like,
that was the wrong bet.
Let's go get shaved ice now.
Right. That was the wrong time to wear that shirt. Yeah.
You made me wear it.
Yeah.
This is
Well, I
what you
expected
wanted.
the L, but I just didn't know they were going to get raked over. But honestly,
I thought it would have been a better
I thought
game.
it would be more competition.
Did
than
you,
that.
though?
Yeah, I did.
With Aaron Rodgers and just
really-
Devontae Adams? That's
I
kind of
really-
like how the Titans were going.
But the defense, the Smith guys, they were doing well. It was just like no one really showed up for this game. I don't think. And granted to the Niners, they played a good D.
Yeah, I'm not going to carry the Niners like they weren't nothing. They did a phenomenal.
Of course.
They're
doing great.
On behalf of Thomas, you're welcome, 49er fans. Thank you.
For what?
For giving you Jimmy.
Oh, shoot.
He came from the TB12.
Look at Quan's face.
Yeah, really?
Came from the TB12.
They were never going to play Jimmy Garoppolo. Never.
Well, we let him, because we have him, we let him go, and now look at where the 49ers are.
I think it was just time for him.
You know.
He just had
it
to
was
go.
just time.
It
was just time. So.
Shout out to the Chiefs, too. People were doubtful that they could pull off the Titan run, but I don't know why they were thinking that.
Listen.
I feel like people don't watch Chiefs games to understand the magnitude of Pat Mahomes and who he is and the line that he has and the defense that actually secretly showed up.
Frank Clark.
And
hello.
And you got, this is going to be a battle in Miami that's going to be an amazing, epic battle.
It's going to be a good game.
Yeah. I feel like that spread might change. It's like one and a half.
I think
or something
1.5
like
right now.
Yeah. It's going to change.
Anyways, we appreciate y'all for tuning in. We thank Natalie for sitting in. Happy birthday.
And happy birthday, Natalie.
Thank you, guys.
As well as thanks to Chrissy for joining in. I don't know what is in the background right now.
It's a birthday song.
Oh, I was like,
It was like Mickey.
Oh, that's so cute.
Quan's so sweet.
It's the Minions. Come on.
Oh, that's so sweet. Anyways, if you didn't catch the full show, because I see some people joining in now, make sure you can rewatch this. You can also go to YouTube later tonight and watch the show all over again. Subscribe to Girl Chat Sports. Find us, follow us, like us, share.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Happy birthday,
Happy
Natalie.
birthday, Natalie.
Thank you.
Thanks again,
And thanks
Chrissy.
everybody for
Thank
tuning
you,
in.
guys.
Peace out.
Like you're 14.
Happy birthday.